Hi there, activists. This is video number 2 of how to complete your ballot. The one we did last week for our first video was how to correctly fill out your ballot, and we talked about the presidential and primarily the mayor races. And now we're going to talk about the California propositions. There are 12 of them, starting with Proposition 14 down here on the bottom of your center column on the front page. And then we have 15, 16, and 17. Flip it over onto the back side. 18, 19, and 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, and then finally 25. When I say how to vote on these, I'm telling you that I did some research. I used several different sources, but the bottom line is this ends up being my report on the resources that I used, and I will just go over those with you. I used Indivisible Marin's report. They did a consolidated research report, and I used that as well. I used the ACLU voter guide. They did not weigh in on all of the propositions, primarily the ones that have to do with social justice and civil rights. Then I used a California ballot synopsis, and this is all the groups, SEIU, California Nurses, California Democrats, and they all weighed in on all of the propositions, and I use those as a resource, as well as I also looked at who spent how much money on each of the propositions, and that helped inform my recommendations as well. Remember, these are recommendations. You may have a personal belief that surpasses the recommendations that I'm going to make, but I'm just going to go over them quickly with you, and maybe this will help you make decisions on how to vote on the propositions. Remember, you don't have to vote on any of them. The only two things I think you must vote on this ballot are the presidential race, vote for Joe Biden, and the mayor race, vote for Scott Sedgley. So here we have, starting the propositions down here, Proposition 14, which is stem cell research. And frankly, stem cell research is really not a bad idea. Most of the range of opinions are one way or the other, but my personal opinion is stem cell research is a good idea, and so yes on stem cell research. Proposition 15 is here. Is tax on commercial and industrial properties for education and local government funding initiatives. Yes, and this comes from League of Women Voters, Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, California Democratic Party, Courage California, Indy SF, Sierra Club, California Teachers Association. Wide support for yes on Proposition 15. Proposition 16 is repeal Proposition 209 Affirmative Action Amendment. This is a strong yes, supported by League of Women Voters, Gavin Newsom, Indy SF, Sierra Club, California Community College, Kamala Harris, Dianne Feinstein, LA Chamber of Commerce, and various BLM groups. But it wasn't doing well in the polls in mid-September, but there's a strong yes recommendation on Proposition 16. Proposition 17, voting rights restoration for persons on parole. Yes. Supported by League of Women Voters, California Democratic Party, Governor Newsom, California Teachers Association, and Courage California. Proposition 18, which is voting for 17-year-olds, says that 17-year-olds can vote in the primary if they will be 18 on election day. Yes on Proposition 18. Proposition 19, Indivisible California, it came out strongly opposed to this, so no on 19. There are a range of Democratic opinions on this subject, but one of the reasons Indivisible California came out against it is the amount of money that went into supporting it was primarily from the California Realtors Association. Proposition 20, criminal sentencing, parole, and DNA collection initiative, no. Opposed by Gavin Newsom, Teachers Association, California Democratic Party, League of Women Voters, California Partnership to End Domestic Violence, Indivisible, and Indivisible California League of Women Voters. So that brings us all the way over to middle column, which is Proposition 21. And that's the local rent control initiative. It says that local governments, city and local governments can impose rent control as part of their local government. It's supported by Bernie Sanders, California Nurses Association, ACLU, and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Proposition 22, this is the one you've seen so much advertising on. This is for Uber drivers. And Proposition 22, strong no. California Teachers Association, California Democratic Party, Sierra Club, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Robert Reich, all support no on Proposition 22. Proposition 23, right here, is in support of having regulating dialysis clinics. And there's a range of Democratic opinions on this. I personally have a brother who is undergoing dialysis, so I asked them how they are going to vote on it. They're voting a strong no. I will tell you that SEIU, a labor organization, is in strong support of it, but the owners of the dialysis clinics, DaVita and what's the other one? Fresenius, DaVita and Fresenius have spent the most money, and I do mean millions of dollars. DaVita has spent $60 million opposing this Proposition 23. That's a lot of money. So that I'm not going to make a recommendation. My family is voting no, but SEIU is supporting it, and the dialysis clinic owners, which is big business, big medicine business, is opposed to it. California Proposition 24, a Consumer Personal Information Law and Agency Initiative, no. Opposed by Indivisible San Francisco, League of Women Voters, ACLU, Consumer Federation of California, Californians for Privacy Now, Color of Change, and California Alliance for Retired Americans. And finally, Proposition 25, replace cash bail with risk assessments referendum. A lot of orgs came out on both sides of this. I read the ACLU response on this, and they are the ones who came out earlier with SB 10. They wrote the original SB 10, and it was changed so much in the process of getting on the ballot that they withdrew their support of SB 10, and they are not supporting this, even though it follows along with their basic justice reform concept, but it doesn't do as much as it should, and is not, and they don't feel it's an effective proposition. So that's why they didn't actually say no, but they aren't taking a stance in favor of it, even though this is a subject that they have been supportive of in the past. That is the propositions. Like I say, if you are unclear, or if they don't matter to you, lots of times they don't matter to me and I just don't vote for them, there's only two things you need to do: Biden and Scott Sedgley for mayor. Fold up your ballot, tear off the top tab. Here's mine already torn off. Put it in your envelope. Seal your envelope. Sign the envelope right here. If you're unclear, I'm trying to get this to show up well. There we go. Sign right here at the top X. If you're unclear that whether your signature has changed or not and want to be certain that your ballot is accepted, have a neighbor, your housemate, your partner sign here saying that they witnessed your signature. And then you can take it to one of the authorized ballot drop boxes. Make sure you only go to the ballot drop boxes on the inside back page of your voter guide. Don't use any of the other ballot drop boxes. We haven't had any reports of fraudulent ballot drop boxes here in Northern California or in Napa County, but don't take a chance. Check out where you go in your ballot, in your voter guide, and then take it and drop it off. If you mail it, and I don't recommend that, but if you do, you don't need to put postage on it. And then hopefully you have signed up for ballot tracks, and when your ballot is received, you will be notified, however you said, text or an email, and telling you that your ballot has been received and accepted. And once you've got that, you're good to go and your ballot counts. As I say, this is the most important election maybe ever in our democracy. And I implore you, I beg you, vote early, vote for Biden. Whether Biden was your first choice, everyone knows he wasn't my first choice, or second or third. But I'm voting for much more than just Biden. I'm voting for the restoration of our democracy, and so that my child has the same rights that I grew up with. Okay? Let's hope we all have something to celebrate on November 4th. Thank you. Have a great day. Vote early. Take someone with you to the polls.